Alright, in this video, I'll talk about a few common issues that many of you had in the second project, and I'll also share a few high quality works that you submitted. So here we go. So first I'm going to feature a few models. Let's take a look of Andy's model. So Andy created a really high quality textures, and she did a lot of details on the model and texture. Okay, and this is inside of the building, and this is the outdoor area. All right, and then Keisha's work. I really like the structure and the color. Okay, and Ben's work. Okay, so let's select these files. All right. Lighting looks good, and he also has a lot of details on the texture. Okay, and how these work? Okay, here we go. So Hazi created a portion of the city, the New York City, okay, based on Google Map. And as you can see, each building has detailed texture, and the lighting also looks good. And Erin Potter's work. Here we go. Okay. Erin also created a high quality model, and she has a lot of detail on the texture. Okay. But I kind of feel that the lighting is a little bit dark. Maybe you can add more lights. For example, here you can add a point light and some spotlights in some area, and you can also create an area light to fill some color in the shadow area. For example, in this area, you can feel some lights in there. Okay, and let's see Rose's work. So Rose did a very good job on paint the texture, and this is not the exact model he created in the first project. Basically, he did some revisions and looks good, the texture. Okay, and let's see, now we're going to move on to the games. So I'm going to feature 5 games. First is Andy's game. So I'm going to check windowed, maybe higher resolution. I love Andy's work, and she created a lot of details. Okay, detail on the texture and on the model. As you can see, when you open this game, it's in the living room. Actually, it's in the hallway, okay, of a building. And here's a few doors, and you can enter the room. And here's one door is open, so we can get in here to see the apartment. Okay, and here's the kitchen. You can see it's very detailed. Here's the oven, and also the lights, ceiling lights, and there's a closet here, and also the sink and some bottles, and the couch and table and some plates, and the TV here, Also the bookshelf. You can look outside from the window. Okay, here's another bookshelf and some frames of photos. Okay, you can also go to, where's the bedroom? Here. Okay, you can also go to some of the bedrooms. For example, here looks like a, maybe this is master room. Okay, and the mattress also looks good. I like the lighting, the color of the model. Okay, here's the bathroom. Okay, all looks good. And now I'll walk out. Okay, and this is the way we come in here. This is the hallway, and then you can walk out. You'll see the outdoor side. This is the square, right? She also created street lights, and here she also has water fountain. Okay, and you can go to some of the other buildings, and you can go on the stairs. You can see the door is very detailed, and from the window you can see the inside of the building, right? So the interior and exterior, both the inside of the building and outside of the building has detailed texture, right? And has a lot of detailed structures as well. Okay, so this is a very good example of modeling texturing and also a virtual tour game. So Andy did a very good job on that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Aaron Porter's game. Here we go. Okay, so for some of the folder, as you can see, I marked some notes here. I'm going to explain that later. Okay, so as you open it, you can see it's the door of the apartment, and texture is very detailed. There's the oven. Okay, the closet. You can get really close and to see the detail. It's very detailed. Okay, and living room. Very beautiful vase. Okay, that's another room, and this is, I believe, it's bedroom. Okay, you can see the mattress. Actually, the lighting in the game looks better than in Maya that she created, right? So for Eren, if you can do the same thing in Maya, have such lights, it will make your model looks much better, right? In Maya, in the render images. Okay, and here's another room, and here's a toilet. All right, I'm going to quit, and then let's take a look of Emilio's work. So this is a square in New York City. Okay, and I like the flags, it looks great. So in the future, if you can also import the animations, the flag animations into your model, that will be great. Okay, that will add a extra layer of details on your model. Okay, and he also started to create this sculpture. Oops, I fall down. Okay, so as you can see, he also started to create the character, the sculpture in the square. Okay, so next semester we're going to learn sculpting, digital sculpting, so you will be able to create a more detailed sculpture. Okay, and next, how these work. Okay. So this is the street. Okay. He did a lot of detail on the building and also the texture, and I just noticed one issue in some of the building, for example, this building, right? So as you can see, the for the bricks, okay, the texture, the diffuse map, is kind of detailed, but the bump map, the normal map, seems to have some issue, right? It doesn't look match with the texture with the diffuse map. So maybe you can create a higher resolution model, higher resolution texture. And also for the normal map, maybe you can just reverse the direction. When you create the normal map in Crazy Bump, you can just choose the inverted the mode when you generate the maps, okay, and test and see how it looks. So basically the bump map needs more detail. The diffuse map is fine. Okay, and as you can see, this wall looks better, but not that one. Okay, overall, the texture is really detailed. You have a lot of details on different buildings, and also the model is detailed. Okay, and in Unity in your game, I kind of feel that you can add more lights. Okay, you can add more lights. Right now it only have one directional light which goes this direction, so if I look at your model from this direction, I can pretty much see everything. But if I look from this side, as you can see, the shadow is internally black. So you can add another directional light and point to this direction, okay, and lower down the intensity of these lights. So this light is going to feel some color, some lights into the shadow area. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And chess model. Chess is the game. And I'm going to check windowed. Okay. So the model, the texture is really detailed. As you can see, there's a closet. And I also like the lights, the lighting. It looks good. Okay, a very beautiful apartment. Alright, I'm gonna quit. And okay, so these are some of the models and the games I would like to feature. And then let's move on to the common issues. Actually, the first common issue I'm going to mention is not listed here. Is Amino. I'll use Amino's work, okay, as example. So when I open Amino's work, and as I play, and you will see that when I walk, right, the camera, it looks like a zoom lens camera. Right, so I'm walk very fast, but I can't really tell the distance between my character and the object. Okay, that's because, you know, the lens, the camera lens, it looks like to be a zoom lens. So you can change the lens and make it to a wide lens. So if you just go to the earlier time of this video, just check Andy's game. Okay, if you check Andy's game, you'll see she used a wide lens. Okay, and when you walk around in the scene, you will feel that it's easier to navigate, right? So for this game, since you are using a long lens, okay, a zoom lens, and it's a little bit difficult to navigate. All right. So how you're going to change the lens is if you come here, okay, if I go to here, if you select the camera, here we go, you can change the field of view. So if I drop in these, okay, if I just go back to another scene, and if I change the render, the lighting setting, and I give it a white color, so you'll see. So this is the camera view, right? The game camera view, and this is our perspective view. So if I go to my F-person controller and select our character, and in here you'll see the camera option, so field of view. So by default it's a 60, right? So if I change it to 30, basically this is the zoom lens. And if I play and I walk in the scene, you can see that it's a little bit difficult to navigate because right now it's a zoom lens, right? And I could only see a very small area in the shot. However, here if I change it to, let's say 200, what do you see? It's a wide shot, but this is a super wide. I think it's too much. Okay, so I'll just change it to maybe the default is a 60, so maybe I'll just change it to 80. Right, this is 60 and this is 80, so it's a wide shot. And then if I play, as you can see, you can see a broader area, and it will be much easier for you to navigate. Okay, so that's how you will be able to change your view. Excuse me. And let's see. So that's the first common issue, which is the camera view. And then another common issue is the in some of the games I can tell that your cameras conflict. You have multiple cameras, so there's a camera conflict. So Emilio had the issue, however he fixed that. Right now Keisha has the issue, I can tell. Okay, and Ania and Ben, you may also have the issue because when I open your game, the game just is showing black screen. And for Keisha's model, Keisha's game, I'm pretty sure you have the issue. So how it will look is, see, if I go to Keisha's game and when I open it, and this is not from the game character's view. This is actually a perspective camera's view. And if I play, as you will hear the steps sound, right? And then as I move to a different direction, you can hear that the step sound goes farther and is feeding out. So basically, your character is still in the scene, and you're able to control the character to walk, but you're not seeing from your character's point of view. You're basically seeing from the perspective camera's view. Okay, so that is the issue several of you had. Okay, so let me explain why this happened. So this is a city model that I provided you earlier, right? As you can see in this scene, I have a camera group, right? So this is the camera that I used to render images, right? So the left window is from the camera view, as you can see, camera 1. So this is from that view, and I use that camera to render image. However, when I move on to Unity, when I export my game, sometimes if you forgot to delete this camera before you export your model, you're going to export everything into a FBX file. So that file, that model will include the camera. It will also include the light. Okay, and if I check on the lighting mode, you can see this spotlight is light in this area with red color. Okay, and then what's gonna happen is, as I export this model to, here we go. As I export this model, okay, this is this model. I export it to FBX file, and then I import it to Unity 3D, right? And if I go to the new scene, and if I drop in this model, so what do you see? This is the model we have, right? And as you can see, this is the light we created in Maya. Okay, it is here. So sometimes you will see that your model is overexposed. The lighting is washed out the color. So that is because you have the lights coming from Maya. It overlapped with the lights you created in Unity. So you're going to really lighting up your scene. So consider to delete the lights that in your scene before you export your model for Unity 3D. And also it's better to delete the camera as well. So if you have the camera in the scene and when you export it to model, import it in Unity, the problem is, as you can see, this is the game view, right? So right now the game is not seen from the character, it's seen from the perspective camera, which is here. So if I go into the model, here's the camera, right? Camera group. So it is seen from this camera. And even if I drop in my first person character, see if I get my first person controller here, okay, and if I get it into if I just change it to back to 0, okay, and also change my scene to the center, and if I change it to 15, 15, 15, all right, so this is the right scale. So now if I play, right, you can see that as I play, because Unity is get really confused, they don't know from which camera you're going to render the game. So it'll just turn your screen to entirely black or a solid color, and sometimes you may see some specific object in the scene but you cannot move. So that is because your the game is get confused about from which camera you're going to render the game. Okay, so Keisha has the issue. I just showed your game. As you can see, you have the issue, and I believe Ania and Ben, you also have the same issue that caused your game to show in black screen. All right, and lighting conflicts. So for Israel's game, your game, the lighting is really strong in the game. So I think that maybe is because when you export the model, your model has the lights. See, I did the same thing here. I have the direction light. No, spotlight here. Right, you can lighting a specific area. So if I mute here, so if okay, right now is same from, I don't know from which camera is the same from, but in the game view you will see this area is very kind of brightened because of the multiple lights hitting that area. Okay, so that's why your model in the game is really lightened. And some of the game has this issue, the camera can see through wall. For example, Iron Potter is a game. So if I just come here, Iron Potter, so I made a recording of your game. As you can see, when I get in really close to your model, basically I can see through your wall, right? And I can see through it. So the problem is here. Okay, so let me delete the camera group first. So just delete it. All right, so now as I delete the camera, as you can see, now the view get better. And then I select my camera here. So if I change the near to, let's see, 6, and you'll see what's gonna happen. If I play the game, and okay, let me play again. Oops, since I haven't create a mesh collider for the wall, so I fall through. So just add a mesh collider. Alright, see, now you can see that I'm able to see through the floor, and also I'm able to see through the wall, right, the building. So that is because of here. That is because here, this number, the near number. As I explained earlier, this defines how close you can see. So if I put 6, that means any object that is closer to the camera than this unit, than 6 units, and then it's going to be disappear. You will not be able to see it. So you could only see object that is between this range, between 6 to 1000 units. So that's why if by default 0.3, I'm able to see through the wall, and then I will lower down this number to 0.1 or even 0.05, right? So I have a bigger range. And also for the far side, if you have mountain in the background and when you play the game, it disappeared, and you can increase this number. But be careful about this, because if you increase this number, you will see a longer range, and that means in your game you're going to render a lot of things at the same time, and you're going to slow down your game, and you will hear your computer is running really kind of the fans will run very fast, and your computer will get hot. Okay, so that is the third issue, actually the fourth issue. Okay, so that's the general feedback, and I'm going to type in the specific feedback to each one of your works on the Blackboard grading portal. Okay.